guy in the GBC.
I mean, we have seen Hridayananda also admitting all these things, right? I shared some videos on my Facebook wall. Hridayananda is saying that, oh, we should not trust anyone except Srila Prabhupada, and all these things, that the atrocities that these people have committed, the initiators.
Yeah. So we're not the children of the atrocity makers.
Yes.
We are the disciples, meaning children, if you will, of Prabhupada. So people went off for 50 years going around in circles and murdering each other and breaking all the Vaidava principles with each other and creating a Catholic Church out of a transcendental movement. That's what they did. But that's not what Prabhupada wanted. And I don't care. I'm too old to waste time trying to unravel what other people did.
Right.
They're going to get to unravel what they did in their next lifetime. No matter what they think they are. If they go into samadhi, so much the worse. They're stuck in their coffins and only work it all out. So that's very good. I'm so relieved to hear from you, Shreya. I hope you can join us frequently. And just take into account, neither I nor anyone else here is an authority. We're all here expressing our realization from the platform of Aham Brahmasmi. I am the soul. I don't have a soul. I am the soul. And I have a body. But we work that out and we get enough written. We have a website. We have a Facebook page. We have, of course, as we all know, WhatsApp page. So, and by the way, Rupa, did you notice that Vashish sent a comment on WhatsApp?
Yeah, he said something else. Whatever that means.
Could you share it? So the I'm sorry, I got off track there a bit. Is that we need to create the genuine kata from Prabhupada from day one. He was not followed. He was followed enough to remain in the temple for regs, read books, stuff like that. But in terms of what people said to each other, I would not share it with you if I could. What people said in the temple in the beginning. The one good thing that people did about talking in the temple is they tended to have a rule against it. When you walk into the temple, if you want to talk to someone, you have to take them outside. You can't talk in the temple. And there was always a record of Prabhupada playing the Hare Krishna mantra, that first record. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And on the other side, he was talking, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, I think was his words, about how the chanting must be heard from the lips of a pure devotee of the Lord for full effect to be achieved. Chanting from the lips of non-devotees should be avoided as much as milk touched by the lips of a serpent has poisonous effect.
Okay, so let's end it at that note. Haribol.
No, we can't end it at that note. We want to hear what Vashish wrote.
Oh, Rupa Manjari Prabhu, please, you end it then. You read the quote, and then after that we'll have a comment, and from now on we can end it.
You can't just end things because you have a clock. You got to end things because we reached the end of the topic.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I put up the quote, our only shelter is the Supreme Lord, and one who teaches how to approach Krishna is the functioning form of the personality of Godhead. There is no difference between the shelter-giving Supreme Lord and the initiating and instructing spiritual masters.
And is that a quote from Prabhupada, or
that's the quote that we've been talking about, because it's saying that Krishna,
that was the one that wasn't on the page, right?
Because it's saying that Krishna, the initiating and the instructing spiritual masters are all the same.
He said that?
That's what the quote is saying, yes.
Oh, yes. So what does Sri Vashish?
So Vashish said that very same quote, Mataji, read the next sentence. If one foolishly discriminates that means discrimination should be there, intelligent discrimination.
So, what does that mean? Who's discriminating? Oh, here comes Vashish again with the photograph, meaning a page of a book I mentioned. So, who does Vashish say we need to discriminate?
That's the next line in the quote that I put up. The line says...
So how does that counteract or negate the one that you put up?
It doesn't. It supports it, but he's saying opposite.
How? He has a special connection with Krishna's ear or his mouth. Krishna speaking into his mouth, bypassing the process of Prabhupada writing.
He said, read next sentence. If one foolishly discriminates, that means discrimination should be there, intelligent discrimination. So he's saying there should be discrimination, but it should not be foolish. It should be intelligent.
What is discrimination?
Discriminating between the instructing and initiating gurus.
Is that what you think Prabhupada was indicating in that statement?
Let me read it again and listen closely, please.
Okay.
Quote, our only shelter is the Supreme Lord, and one who teaches how to approach Krishna is the functioning form of the personality of Godhead. There is no difference between the shelter-giving Supreme Lord and the initiating and instructing spiritual masters. If one foolishly discriminates between them, he commits an offense in the discharge of devotional service. So what Vashish is saying...
plain, straightforward, doesn't it? So keep going.
So what Vashish says is he highlights the foolishly discrimination. He says you should not foolishly, but you should intelligently discriminate.
Meaning what? Against the Shastra or against Prabhupada?
That you should discriminate between the initiating and the instructing spiritual masters.
If they're both on the same level as Krishna, the discrimination is simply technical. One gives diksha, one gives shiksha.
Okay, I'd like to wrap this up.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's Vashish is listening right now, as usual, from the sidelines behind the curtains. So let's conclude this for Vashish, not for you and me, for Vashish. Ramachandra, can you do it? Can Rupa Manjari do it?
Well, we have already come to a conclusion. We have provided so much evidence that the Shiksha and the Diksha Guru...
Yeah, but he doesn't accept it.
So we don't care what he accepts.
We do care what he accepts.
Huh?
He can't go to Istagosthi, even from behind the curtains. He can't go to Istagosthi, disagree, and not have a response.
Yeah, we can have that, but he's doing that.
So have it.
Huh?
Have it.
Have it?
What is your response to that statement that he made?
Discrimination? What kind of discrimination is talking about? There's no discrimination if both two Uttamadhikaris, one is a Shiksha and the Diksha tells you to go study under some other Shiksha. What discrimination? Both are Uttamadhikaris.
Particularly since both of them are equal to Krishna.
Yeah. So what is the discrimination here? Is it the discrimination of their two different Uttamadhikaris? Or
maybe he's talking about racial discrimination.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Is he saying Black Lives Matter and that's the deciding factor here?
I don't know. And I don't want to talk about...
I'm just joking. But we can't just let it float. There's people online, I'm sure. And there's Vashish, who's clinging to every word we say, that we will bow down to him and accept discrimination between Krishna, Diksha, Shiksha, and Krishna, who are all equal, must be there. My question is, what's the difference? Is Krishna the Shiksha Guru? No, Krishna is Krishna. Is the Shiksha Guru the Diksha Guru? No, the Shiksha Guru is the Shiksha Guru. Is the Diksha Guru either Krishna or the Shiksha Guru? No, he's the Diksha Guru. Is that a good enough discrimination, or do we have to pare it down to the fingernails?
Okay, so I think we're
Why are you so panicked to get off the line?
because it's time. We're saying 2 hours, and 2 hours. That's it. I think we have discussed it.
Wasting 2 hours?
And I think you see, we are convinced, but Vashish is not convinced. So you cannot make Vashish convinced.
No, but that is why we have this Istagosthi.
I know, but
The non-convinced can be convinced.
well, then you talking about it and trying to make different statements from different angles will not convince him. He has to come on the show and then participate, and then
That doesn't make any difference. You know what? If he doesn't do that, which is fine, he doesn't have to, he's not obliged.
right.
Then he should formally state that I, Naranarayan Das, Vishwakarma, am now his absolute to be obeyed under all circumstances Shiksha Guru.
Okay. Well, that's right.
Or else I will have him boiled in oil.
Okay, I think we can end it at that note.
Actually,
No?
worse, I will give him the instruction that he has to obey to boil himself in oil.
Okay.
I don't have to put up the expense for wood to boil the oil with.
Okay.
He can pay for his own oil to boil himself in.
Okay.
But we have to, can we as a group appeal to, you're ready to write him off, I'm not. He's our godbrother. He's our fellow spirit soul. Can we as a group right here and now join in a pact that we want Vashish to resolve this question according to Guru Shastra Sadhu? Not according to Vashishism, the error of Vashishism.
No, Shishism.
Well,
Right. Okay. I think.
well, wait. Do we agree or we don't agree?
I agree.
Okay, Rupa, do you agree?
Sure.
Oh, no, come on, you gotta be more enthusiastic than that.
It's
You're a
I'm
cheerleader.
tired.
Yeah. Do something like that.
it's past their bedtime, so it's time to sleep.
And Mohit, do you agree?
Mohit is out. Mohit went out.
Okay, is Shreya agree?
Sure, Prabhu. Sure, yes.
You're sure?
Yes,
Okay,
I am.
so I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm asking people to believe Prabhupada. I'd like to know why Ashish doesn't want to accept what Prabhupada says. And then says Prabhupada is absolute. If he wants to say Prabhupada is a conditioned soul, God bless him, he has a right to do that. But he cannot get anywhere with us who consider Prabhupada to be an Uttama Adhikari, part and parcel of Krishna, in his rasa with Krishna, as is any and all Shiksha Gurus as well.
People are joining. So, Rupa Manjari Prabhu, do you want to leave and you come back again? Because some other people are joining. Subramaniam is joining, so you can.
Okay.
Hey, Subramaniam ji, Haribol.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good
Haribol.
night,
Yeah.
Rupa. Thank you so much. Sorry to
I will-
drag it
I
out.
will-
but good God, now it's getting really interesting.
Okay, Rupa Manjari, Shreya Prabhu, you wanted to say something? Are you leaving too?
Yes, I'm also
Okay.
leaving.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for joining. Haribol.
So give us some word of wisdom or of faith or hope or realization, even better yet, to keep us going until you're on the show again.
Sure, Prabhu. Sure. I think the more we keep referencing to everything to the books and the original books and just go by what Srila Prabhupada says, we will be on the right track.
Yes, but it's not just books. We have to go by what Prabhupada also said personally, and we have to go by,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the original books, everything in it is good, but remember, I'd like to share with you, try one thought, and that is everything Prabhupada wrote in his books was to attract new people to join ISKCON to become Kanistha Adhikaris. What we're discussing here is for people who have already joined, who already understand Prabhupada to be the pure devotee, spiritual master, and how to recreate ISKCON so that ISKCON can then go on to deliver not just humans, but bugs, plants, dogs, cats, ants, all sorts of creatures, trees, every living being. We want to deliver within the next 9,450 years. And that's what we're doing. So that's not all in Prabhupada's books. In Prabhupada's books is all the reasons why you should chant. He said, the only reason I've written my books is so you will chant. So once we are chanting, going back to the books again and again and again, yes, we can do that, particularly if we haven't read the book. But the main thing is action. Anyway, you don't need a book to chant Hare Krishna, but you need Hare Krishna to understand the book. So we have to take into account that this book is Bible, dogma. No, we don't go for dogma. We don't go for katma either, but we don't go for dogmas. What it said, there's that old saying, bumper sticker said, my karma just ran over your dogma. So my car just ran over your dogma. So we don't need dogma. What we need, and we don't reject anything Prabhupada wrote. But if we are stuck there, that means we're stuck being in the material platform, trying to become perfected in our body. We need to transcend our body and get to the point where we can deliver the fallen souls, not because we're in our body, in spite of it, because we want to deliver the souls. That's the job of the jiva, the pure spirit soul, which you are, and I am, and we all are. That's what the League for 10K is for. Okay, yeah. Now what is the next person saying?
No, we have Subramaniam Prabhu, Rama Subramaniam Prabhu. So Rama Subramaniam Prabhu, please come on, unmute yourself, and then Shreya Prabhu has to leave. I know that, so go ahead.
I have nothing to say. Probably, like we should have more like vocal conversations than written messages.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, so
we can understand each other's tone.
Yes. Rama Subramaniam Prabhu is saying, listen. Rama Subramaniam Prabhu is saying that we must have these types of conversations, less written conversations, right?
Huh?
He's saying we should have these types of conversations.
Yes, like the vocal conversations. Written conversations are very like to elaborate that. Like I get 45 messages in the morning, and I was like, "What is this going on?"
Yes,
it is difficult to follow
that thread. For me, Ramachandra.
No. He's saying messages are very hard to understand what they're saying. A conversation like Istagosthi, personal Istagosthi, like right now we were having, this is much more better way to communicate.
No, yes, I agree. And Subramanya Ji, I offer you my obeisances, my pranams, whatever else you want to call it. I offer to you my frustrated obeisances.
I offer to you my
because of what you've been publishing on the League for 10,000 years. It goes on deaf ears, but not my ears are not deaf. I appreciate what you're writing, and you're right on target.
Jai. Okay, so Rama Subramaniam Prabhu, we just had a discussion about Shiksha and Diksha Guru, and then I'll show you what we discussed.
What I felt is that.
Can he take
what?
Okay, like probably like what this what is it? Strategic Planning Committee thinks is it's like I think what Strategic Planning Committee is like detergent companies. They advertise that we'll clean all the stains, but it doesn't actually clear the stains. So it's like detergent companies claiming that they'll clear all the stains. The strategic planning committees are like that. They claim complete false claims.
Yes.
Now, what is the false claim? I like that word, false claims. What is the false claim?
That Srila Prabhupada allowed everyone to become these 11 naked emperors to take over his movement, steal all his property, keep it in their name.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's part of the problem. We're part of the solution, or we are the creators of the solution by Istagosthi. We're using Istagosthi to channel Krishna, creating for us through our mouths the solution. We don't need to know what bad things bad people have done. They're not bad people, foolish people, materially attached people, greedy people. Whatever they've done it. Now we're going to clear the decks so that the followers of these people will say, wow, that network for 10K is such refreshment. When we get on the network for 10K, we can feel there's relief in sight. There's hope in sight. They're creating a format for the 9,500 years, and our gurus can't even do a program for the entire week.
Yes.
So
the GBC, yes.
And you're welcome to join and jump right in and be the authority. Not me, not anybody, you. Each jiva is the authority.
So,
and when we say the spirit soul, we don't have one. I am the soul, I have a body.
Okay.
When we know Aham Brahmasmi, then we are qualified to speak without limitation.
Okay, Rama Subramaniam Prabhu. So you saw the GBC SPT program as they had Hridayananda Swami talking, and he never talked about the direction of management. He just basically gave what Srila Prabhupada wanted according to what he thinks, right? In the SPT.
Yes, and that person over there, Hridayananda Goswami, I saw a video, he was playing a ping pong with one of his disciples. Like Srila Prabhupada, I remember a memory, he said some normal karmi, he was playing golf, and Srila Prabhupada actually felt very bad. See how he's wasting time playing golf, he's not spending time for Krishna consciousness. And this disciple is playing ping pong over there.
Yes, and then you see how he is saying that many times Prabhupada instructed him that he's the only authority in spiritual affairs. So why isn't he the only spiritual authority in ISKCON? Why is the so-called GBC trying to interpret what Srila Prabhupada has given in his direction of management, the way the temple should be independent, the temple president and treasurer and the local devotees being the ultimate authority? Why have they centralized everything? And Hridayananda was part of the whole centralization, which he's not talking about in the videos.
Yeah, at the time of that letter to Kurandar, he was a major instigator in centralization.
Yeah, why should we even think we are smarter than Srila Prabhupada? That's the problem.
Well, I have to tell you, frankly, they thought of themselves as knowing more about corporate structure than Prabhupada did. They said Prabhupada's got all this chanting stuff under his belt and he can write books, but we know about corporate structure and we have lawyers who tell us that we are right. So why should they listen to Prabhupada on what they felt to be non-spiritual matters? Now we can see why.
Prabhupada knew everything. Like he was the master. He knew like what is the disadvantage of this corporate structure. So only the Vedic way of decentralizing. He is very intelligent.
In 1970, his disciples had begun to disagree with that. The leaders, not me, not you, but his leaders began to disagree with Prabhupada and wanted to bring in outside authorities. That's why Kurandar fell down. He was a wonderful leader, but the minute that he came into trying to create corporate ISKCON, he ceased to be a wonderful leader and became an alcoholic instead.
Yes, like I felt bad when these devotees told Srila Prabhupada's manuscript trying to publish on their own. When he came, he gave everything to them, and these people are betraying him like this. That is very disturbing to me. Even till now, I felt very bad.
You're saying? Ramachandra, I couldn't quite catch that.
Prabhu, they stole the origin, the Srila Prabhupada's manuscript of Bhagavad Gita as it is, and they were trying to publish on their own. But no publisher could believe that these people could have translated Sanskrit so well. So.
Oh, you're talking about Kirtananda and Hayagriva?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, these devotees were nowhere.
I was in
These devotees
Vrindavan in 1969. We were reading from the unpublished manuscript of Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada was personally present there also. And Hayagriva hadn't been willing to give it back to Prabhupada. He wanted to keep it. So you can give an idea what sort of acharya is Srila Prabhupada. He made the impossible work.
Right. Right.
And these devotees, these two, Kirtananda and Hayagriva, they were nobody before when Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada came, they could get something over there, or they would be nobody in this world.
Right.
Nobody would even know them, like Hayagriva. Who is Hayagriva? Howard Wheeler, I think, earlier name was. Because Srila Prabhupada gave and showed this mercy, these people could have got their name, the spiritual names, and today we are speaking about them.
Well,
and that's
how they be like a club. You join the gardening club and they give you Mr. Gardenia Acharya or something like that. Somebody else, your wife gets this rose petal Acharya, and then somebody else gets, how about tulip Acharya? They think that's all it is. Now you belong to the club. You've got a flower name because it's a flower club.
So another problem with the GBC SPT Facebook group and the conversations they're having, people cannot come on there and ask questions, so people cannot challenge them. So it's only two-way conversation. One guy says something and the other guy answers it, and it's like back and forth.
That's a good way to protect your what.
Your ass. So.
Oh yeah, your what? I don't know if you know what I mean. It's a synonym. It's a similar word for donkey.
Yes. So it's very interesting how they function. They're still trying to cover up the lies some 50 years later, right?
Srila Prabhupada,
what choice do they have?
Huh?
Srila Prabhupada was so brave. Like, if any news reporter came, he would face them so boldly.
Unravel it. What happened? There's a playwright named Ibsen, and he wrote from Sweden, I think. He wrote some extremely good plays. I went to college and studied them. And in one of the plays called Ghosts, it's a whole family living in a big, big ancestral house, and it shows finally all the very creepy things that have been going on between all of these family members gradually comes out. And what one woman says in an inspired moment on the stage, she looks forward and she wiggles her fingers in the air like that. It says, the more it's like pulling the threads on the wool on the sweater. The more we pull, the more it comes loose. So that's what we're doing. We're undoing the thread of that fake sweater that they've knitted. And the more you pull, the more it comes off. These guys are trying to protect the sweater and keep it from unraveling. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
I don't know what I'm talking about. A Swedish playwright.
Okay, this one question I had.
It's a good simile.
Okay,
we're unraveling. We're making the secret open. Let us declare on this transcendental platform of Istagosthi, there are no more secrets. None. No more cover-ups. No more soggy explanations. There is only one thing after that. Truth.
Yes, Prabhu. I had this one question,
If we
Prabhu.
go for truth, that means, what's truth? Jiva is truth. Jivatma is truth. Do I have a jiva? I hope not. I am the jiva. I have, unfortunately, a body.
Subramaniam has a question. Let him speak.
Yes.
So can you offer, when chant Mahamantra, can you offer the Mahamantra to somebody else? Is that possible? Is it even allowed, or is it some mental concoction that you can offer your chanting to some other person?
What?
Like
I don't quite understand. Ramachandra, can you help me?
Yes, Subramaniam. Yes, Rama Subramaniam Prabhu is asking that if I chant Hare Krishna, can I give that chanting that I'm doing to someone else? Meaning that I offer that chanting to X guru or Y guru or to my wife or to this person. He's sick, so I want to.
Or a stranger in the street, or a plant, or an ant on the ground. Why not? The question is, Prabhupada wanted us, wherever you go, whomever you meet, simply speak of Krishna. That means also chant. And we should please understand, Subramaniam Prabhu, with my obeisances to your feet. Let me say, when you're chanting to somebody in the street, it's not you chanting. It's Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, Gaurkashodas Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Lord Chaitanya chanting through all of you. The disciplic line comes through your mouth. You may think, how could that be possible? I don't know how it could be possible, but that's what's happening. Because Lord Chaitanya's sound vibration is carried like an Olympic torch by everybody in the movement. And if the person is not an Uttamadhikari to become guru, the torch becomes fluttery and deformed. But if you Uttamadhikari, then wherever that torch is handed to you, Subramaniam Prabhu, that becomes your power of deliverance of other living beings. Does that make sense to you?
It is making sense. Like I am able to understand.
I hope so.
That's all, Prabhu. Okay, like next time we can invite Vashish Prabhu to come to our meetings instead of putting so many messages over here. And
yeah, you've been heroic with Vashish.
I will have to put some message over here in this so strongly that he attend the message, and he actually speaks
he stands behind the curtain and shoots at people in the back, and then he. That is after the meeting. That is when the meetings are not going on. What? But when the meetings are going on, he should come and speak over here. He should make his stance clear. That's okay. He did something like that because he is a spirit soul. He is part and parcel of Krishna. Whether he wants to consider that ordinary human beings can be shiksha gurus or not, and I don't know where he got that idea. Not from Prabhupada.
Okay, yeah, what can you repeat that, Prabhu? What did you say?
Like, he's addicted to a book called The Final Order, which I am busy deconstructing because, according to the author, uninitiated author of The Final Order, that an uninitiated person who comes along later can do a nice job trying to sort things out, but coming to a preposterous conclusion that the people Prabhupada's the people poisoning our guru was our guru's chosen successors. Isn't that amazing?
Okay, now I have one question over here. Like he told that any person can become a shiksha guru. That's what he's trying to tell.
Well, they can in 100 million years. Of course, why not?
But that is what he's claiming to tell, like he's claiming over there.
How can he claim it? Prabhupada says no.
Okay, so but he told something like that. All I'm
looking for from him is a few quotes where Prabhupada says yes, then I'll see what his conditions are, then we'll say okay. But he has not produced one. All he says is blah, 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 blah. And that's this, and keeps going with his own point of view, which has no basis in anything.
This is new thing for me, that any conditioned soul can become a shiksha guru. Like
here it is. Can you read it?
Yeah, he comes out as a spiritual master, shiksha guru, diksha guru. So there is no difference between shiksha guru and diksha guru and Krishna. Krishna manifests himself externally as shiksha guru and diksha guru. Prabhupada. Guru Krishna Kripaye Pai Bhakti Lata Bij Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.151. We have acquired this energy through the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So Krishna is within as Chaitya Guru and we are serious.
So yeah, there's a Bhagavatam verse here.
Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 12th chapter, 32nd verse. According to Shastric injunctions, there is no difference between Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. And generally the Shiksha Guru later on becomes the Diksha Guru. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, first canto, 58th chapter. Guru, the spiritual master, Chaitya Rupe, is in the form of the super soul, Shiksha Guru. Yes, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya. Shiksha Guru, the spiritual master who gives information about the spiritual life, is called Vartma Shiksha Guru. Actually, the qualifications of a spiritual master depend on his knowledge of the science of Krishna, the science of Krishna. He can become a spiritual master as Vartma Pradarshaka Guru, Diksha Guru, or Pradarshaka Guru. The spiritual master who initiates according to the regulations of the Shastras is called Diksha Guru. His spiritual master. The spiritual master is divided into two parts, namely Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. So officially Bhaktivinoda Thakur was like Shiksha Guru of Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaja. Questions and answers. Prabhupada. No, because Gaur Kishodas Babaji, was treating Bhaktivinoda Thakur as his Shiksha Guru, but preceptor Guru. So it is in the line. Lecture. What is Guru? There cannot be two. This is Guru. Another place it is said, so Guru is one. Guru cannot be two. As soon as you find two opinions of Guru, either both of them are rascals or one is still at least a rascal. Letter to Shivananda. Externally as Shiksha Guru, as instructor, and Diksha Guru, initiator. So the principle is that whatever you are instructed by the Chaitya Guru internally may be confirmed by instructor or initiator, help us as spiritual master in two ways. He helps us within as Chaitya Guru and he expands himself. From conversation. If you like interesting microphone moving, then he is Diksha Guru. So Siksha Guru becomes Diksha Guru. But Guru means one who knows the science of Krishna and teaches properly. That's all. So this is very like sufficient evidence. This says that no conditions will become a Siksha Guru.
So there you go. No conditioned soul can be a Shiksha Guru. You realize that yourself. So we're not making this up. We were going through the Praman. And then,
okay, but over here, this Prabhu says you are not running away something over here. I think he is the person who is not coming and supporting his evidence.
What?
Yes, Vashish is not coming, right? Yeah. Yes.
He's not
coming. See, he says somewhere over here that you're running away somewhere.
Vashish has been listening to this whole program as I suspected. I don't know if he's listening.
I thought he'd be listening over the YouTube and probably
a few minutes ago. And Vashish has been sending comments on the League of 10,000 Years. But he doesn't want to show up personally because he can't answer any of our questions. So he likes to go around behind our backs and tell people that we don't know what we're talking about. But I would like to say, this is the one place on earth where you can speak the truth and be supported by Lord Krishna in speaking the truth. And if I don't speak the truth or somebody doesn't speak the truth, we can bring Guru Shastra Sadhu to bear on that and see what is the truth. A lot of times it's just a misunderstanding, but actually you can speak from the heart and dare to be wrong, dare to make a mistake. This is not a school class in a university. Dare to make a mistake and then dare to be corrected and dare to accept the correction if it is appropriate, or experience the delicious pleasure of making a statement. Everyone says you're wrong. Do the research and find out you were right and they were wrong. What's wrong with that? That's what Istagosthi is. And it's the only place on the planet Earth right now that I'm aware of where you can do that. This is a rare experience. So
exactly.
we want to make it bigger and bigger and bigger, not smaller and smaller and smaller by whispering behind people's backs and say, oh, they don't know. You listen to me, not them, you know.
Right.
That's not what we do. If you want to say that, if you want to say, listen to me, not them, then come on the screen and say, on the Zoom call and say, listen to me, not them. And then we'll have a good discussion, won't we?
Yes, that's true. We'll have a good discussion.
Everyone wants to push me up to be some sort of a guru because I have all this background in ISKCON and association with Prabhupada. You'd think that I would gloat on the idea, but it horrifies me, the idea. Why? Because I'm not. You're the guru. I'm not the guru. I call you Prabhu, not slave. I don't say, hi, slave. Hi, slave. Oh, yes, Prabhu. Slave, what do you want to say? Oh, Prabhu. No, I'm not the Prabhu, I am the servant of Prabhu, and you're the Prabhu, master.
Jai. Okay, so
Jai.
Subramaniam Prabhu, that's what we discussed today, that the Shiksha and the Diksha part, and you can see clearly what Prabhupada says, and there's examples of that between Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, instructing his disciples or his associates to go study under someone else. So these are all liberated souls. So you can
Yes.
say one guy is a Diksha Guru, and then he instructs him to go to another Swami that is expert, or he's writing shastras or assist him like that. But they always had one Diksha Guru, not multiple Diksha Gurus.
That's a good point, and we should add to that good point by saying in the time of Lord Chaitanya, there were so many pure devotees,
yes,
that
yes,
you could have a Diksha from one and go to 4 others and accept them as Shiksha.
Yes.
Because they were pure devotees. But now,
yes,
there aren't any pure devotees except Prabhupada, who says, and Thakur Bhaktivinoda said, he reasons ill who say Vaishnavas die when thou art living still and silent. Vaishnavas die to live, and living spread the holy life around.
Yes, this was in that book, I forgot that.
So this is what we're doing.
Songs of Vaishnava devotee, something like that. In that book, there it is at the last, it is the inscription on Lamacharya Shraddhas Thakur Samadhi. Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur has inscribed this. And even I saw a movie there, Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, when he approaches Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he said, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj denies first or second time to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He says, you are the son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, why are you approaching me for initiation?
I didn't quite follow that, but it sounded correct.
Like when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was Bimal Prasad. His name was Bimal Prasad. He was still not initiated. When he approached Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj for initiation, Babaji Maharaj, he told, you are son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, why are you approaching me for initiation?
Yeah, well,
yes,
that's a complicated story with a complicated answer. I'll try to give a very simple response right now with no length to it.
Yes, please.
Thakur Bhaktivinoda could not initiate his own son. That's prohibited for a father and son to create a dynasty of initiation. He had to initiate from somebody, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was so absolutely strict that if he was initiated by anybody, he would have been so strict, he wouldn't allow anyone to leave India to preach. He wouldn't allow anyone to take on a disciple that was not going to stay as a lifetime disciple. Gaurkishore Das Babaji was known widely as a contrarian, meaning he went against everything. He chanted japa in the latrines. Need I go further? So he needed to be in the Sampradaya to enable Bhaktisiddhanta to break so many rules, which he never would have done if he hadn't had that Guru Maharaj of Jagannath Das. And then, more importantly, in that sense, not more equally importantly, but a different dimension, Prabhupada came to America and became the absolute contrarian. And if you look at Prabhupada, he doesn't look like a contrarian. He certainly doesn't look like Gaurkishore Das Babaji. But if you consider what he did, now that we're so educated and wise and everything, if you look at what he did, he initiated uninitiatable people. He initiated women to become Brahmins. He made malechas into pujaris. He turned malechas into sannyasis and householders. And they all followed everything, just bewitched and bewildered by Prabhupada's auspicious, all-encompassing presence. They all began to fall into material roles in the Kanista Adhikari platform. But in the Kanista Adhikari platform, the material role is transcendentalized because the Kanista Adhikari is higher than the Vedic Brahman, because the Kanista Adhikari is in the process of Aham Brahmasmi. Kanista Adhikari means he knows that he's the soul, Om, or Aham Brahmasmi. Then he comes to Madhyamadikari, then he comes to Uttamadikari, which is a pure devotee like Prabhupada. So that all came about from Prabhupada, by Prabhupada breaking all the rules. Even crossing the ocean is breaking a rule.
Yes, yes, I know that. Like,
yeah. So
I don't. It is. I don't know. It is man-made rule that you should not cross the ocean. Like,
right.
I don't know whom. Where is that rule?
That rule is for Vaishnavas in India from traditional Vedic times. But the thing is that Gorkashore Das Babaji was a contrarian. Do you understand what I mean when I say contrarian?
Yes, like he is breaking this stereotype rules, like
backwards. Oh, you know about him? People came to him. Oh, great! Everyone could see he was a pure devotee, although a totally crazy one, apparently crazy. And they came to him. Oh, Swami, what is the best dish to make to offer to Krishna? He said, well, if you take the peels from bananas and you mix them with the crust of a half-rotten eggplant and throw in some fermented tomatoes and stir it around and heat it, that's the perfect dish to offer Krishna. I mean, no one's going to do that. But that's what a contrarian said. He didn't say it. He said it.
I think there's some audio problem.
What? I'm sorry.
I think it's breaking out. The connection is coming in and out.
Oh, really? You can't hear? How sad. Anyhow, lucky you. If you can't hear me, lucky you.
Lucky us.
But in any event,
I think.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, we can hear it now. So let's try to end it now, and we're in 5 minutes. It's going on too long. I think we have covered.
This is a omen from Krishna himself to end the program. So go ahead. You finish everything up, Ramachandra.
So great. So all the devotees that are watching online, we have covered a lot of ground about Shiksha and Diksha. We have answered a lot of questions. Subramaniam Prabhu has read it, and Vashish, I'm hoping that he sees the video. If not, then that's all right too. He's always welcome on the Zoom conversations, and anyone who has a doubt, question, or anything, we would prefer either come on Zoom or have a personal conversation with Narayan Prabhu. He's pretty much available to discuss with you on any topic, right, Narayan Prabhu? You're pretty much
Hare Krishna.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then if you have any questions, you can directly contact Narayan Prabhu or me, and then we can bring it onto the Zoom.
Ramachandra.
Yes, or me, yes. Then we'll bring it to the Zoom. We're trying to keep it.
Contact Mahaprabhu.
Yes, contact Mahaprabhu, Ramasubramanian Prabhu.
Not now, next week.
Next week.
Hare Krishna.
When he becomes fully self-realized.
Jai. Haribol. Okay. Subramanian Prabhu, any last words?
Nothing, Prabhu. Done.
Okay, Narayan Prabhu, you're the last man down.
Oh, I've said so much. I've said too much.
Final statement.
Final statement before the judge cuts you off.
Yeah. The statement is, we, Istagosthi, on this Zoom call, is to deliver every jiva, not just stupid humans, but intelligent ants and germs who know what they're doing, and maggots who have good taste for dead flesh and are being guided by Paramatma to get it. That's who we're addressing. If humans were to join in, they better put their attitude in the hall closet when they walk in.
Well, all right. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining.